All right, today we're going way up into the Indian Himalayas. We're going to try and get to the heart of what makes the state of Uttarakhand tick. It's a story about mountains, sure, but it's also about struggle and a kind of spirit that's just as tough and beautiful as the land itself.
You know, to really get a place, a lot of the time, you have to start with the food. And this quote, it just nails it for our journey today. It's basically saying, hey, if you want to understand the people, you've got to first understand what they eat, what they can grow, and what they cook. So yeah, our first stop is the kitchen, because the traditional dishes you find in Uttarakhand aren't just random recipes. They are a direct story of the Himalayan environment, what can actually grow there, what's going to keep you warm, and what you can rely on when the climate is tough. Okay, so here you can see the two main regions, Garhwal and Kumaon, have their own distinct flavors. Over in Garhwal, you get these incredibly hearty dishes like patki churkani, that's a slow-cooked black soybean curry. Then in Kumaon, you might find something like jangoriki kheer, a really delicate dessert made from millet, or aloo ke gutke, which are these amazing spiced potatoes that get their unique flavor from a wild spice called jakia. But what's the common thread here? It's always simple, local, and perfectly suited to the mountains. I mean, this whole cuisine is built on a foundation of some seriously tough ingredients. We're talking local soybeans, millets like jangora, and horse gram, or gahat, which is pretty amazing because it's adapted to survive in really cold climates and short growing seasons. These aren't just foods, they're survivors, and that's a direct reflection of the people who grow them. So all of this brings up a really important question, right? What is it that makes this food so incredibly resilient? And the answer, as we're about to see, tells us a whole lot more than just what's on the menu. And you know what? That same toughness you see in the food, well, it has this powerful parallel in the people's history, a really long, difficult political fight to hold on to their unique identity. So what makes the food so resilient? It's the same thing that makes the people resilient. Their very identity was forged in that exact same challenging, beautiful Himalayan environment. So for a big chunk of the 20th century, these hill regions were just a part of the massive neighboring state of Uttar Pradesh. And the people there felt like their unique culture, their needs, they were just being ignored. This feeling sparked the Uttarakhand movement, which was this powerful, decades-long and nonviolent struggle for their own state, for self-governance. And believe me, this was a long road. Just look at this timeline. The very first demand was recorded way back in 1897. Things really got a political platform in 1979, but it was in 1994 that it just exploded into this mass movement. It all finally led to statehood in the year 2000. So this was no sudden decision, it was the result of more than 100 years of hope and struggle.
But look, to really get the food and the politics, you have to get the land itself. It's a place of jaw-dropping beauty, for sure, but it also comes with this constant, built-in sense of danger. Just take a second and let this number sink in. 86%. 86% of the state's total area is mountains. So this isn't a state with mountains, it is the mountains. And that one simple fact changes absolutely everything. Living on this kind of land means you're living with constant risk. The state is officially called multi-hazard prone. You've got threats from weather, like flash floods and cloudbursts. You've got threats from the ground itself, like landslides and earthquakes. And then you even have man-made disasters. This isn't a rare event, it's just the daily reality. Okay, look at this comparison. On the left, you've got a regular map, but the one on the right is a vulnerability map, and it's specifically for livestock. All of that red you see marks the high-risk zones. It shows you that this danger isn't some abstract idea, it is a geographic fact laid right on top of the land and the way people make a living. So how do you manage to survive, let alone thrive, in a place like this? Well, you adapt. You forge your own special kind of resilience. And this is where all the different parts of our story really start to click together. You can really break this resilience down into three main areas. First, there's agricultural resilience. We saw that with the tough crops they grow. Second, there's political resilience. That's the successful, century-long, nonviolent fight for their own state. And finally, there's systemic resilience. This is the modern, planned-out approach to actually managing the constant threat of disasters. And here you see the amazing final chapter of that political resilience. After over 100 years of pushing, the last steps happened incredibly fast. A bill sent in 1998 was passed just 2 years later. And on November 9, 2000, the new state of Uttarakhand was finally born, a hard-won victory for a very determined people.
And this right here, this is what that systemic resilience looks like in the real world. It's a disaster management plan, specifically for the department that handles livestock. It's a modern, proactive plan to protect people's livelihoods from these timeless environmental challenges. It's literally resilience in action.
So, after all that, what is the soul of Uttarakhand? Let's tie it all together.
When it comes right down to it, this is what it is. The identity of this place isn't just one thing. It's not just the food, not just the politics, and not just the geography. It's that powerful, constant push and pull between a strong, adaptable people and their incredibly beautiful but very formidable mountain home. And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. In a world that feels more and more uncertain for all of us, what can we learn from a culture that has been defined for centuries by its ability to adapt, to endure, and to thrive against the odds? That's a question worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.